Hello. Welcome guys back to my channel, back to the third place. If you are new here, my name is Rosie, and on this channel we talk about all things cryptid, all things consciousness. I myself am water coded, so I love to talk about aquatic beings, aka mermaids and stuff like that, but I also am an embodied axis Mundi, meaning I perceive reality on 1,000,001 different levels through my being, and I have a playlist that also talks about what that's like, and you might be able to see if you're similar too. Just that's what I'm about here. But anyway, in today's video, this is going to be something different. Today I'm going to be doing something different, and it's inspired by my good friend Barry Littleton. If you are unaware of who Barry Littleton is, where have you been? But he is a dude that he brings so much good information about. He was a contactee, and this isn't just your bog standard like I went up into the light and I was probed in the arse bullshit. All right, he's coming with the good goods. All right, it's incredible information on all things consciousness as well as contactee. Now, he does lives on Fridays and mainly Sundays, and he brought me up in his live today, all right, for an image that I had sent him, and it just gave me the confidence to start showing some images that I also have. All right, so thank you, Barry. You are the sponsor of this video. So let's talk about it. Right, so I'm just going to be showing some images. So basically, what am I talking about? So I myself have what would probably be called second sight. All right, sometimes I think that there's different ways that we label things. All right, but for now, let's call it second sight. So what does that mean? That means that I am able to perceive things in reality that perhaps not everybody else can see. Now, that doesn't mean that I see dead people all the time or anything like that. In fact, that's not something that I've really experienced. What I'm talking about in this context is that, particularly for some reason in photos, I can perceive maybe like, non-corporeal beings or entities that are not particularly perhaps of this dimensional realm, or that are of this dimensional realm and the fourth dimensional realm, the ones that phase in and out. I can perceive them in images and photographs. Okay, this is what I want to be talking about in this particular video. Now, this is something that I think I was always supposed to have, because like I said, I'm an embodied axis Mundi, but it's not something that I could always do. I think this switched on about, and I say switched on because it literally felt like it switched on in about 2018. All right, there's a story behind it. To cut it real short, the synopsis behind it is that, like, I've always been obviously, of course, interested in everything weird and wonderful, right? And I remember coming across this website in about 2018, and it was one of those old school angel file GeoCities websites. If you know, where it looks like people have just literally done cutouts of photographs, scanned it in, and just plonked it onto a screen, all right, with like lots of like MS-DOS surrounding it, lots of like that italic sans and Comic Sans text. You know. So I came across this website, and it was purporting to have images of fairies. Now, the Rosie of today, I'm going to say that these are fairies, all right, but the Rosie of today doesn't call these kind of beings fairies. I'll call them elementals, okay? Because when we're talking about fairies, people are usually thinking about what is usually like the little beings with the little wings. Now, I'm not saying that these beings don't exist, but technically, if you wanted to be accurate, that's the Victorian rendition of fairies that became very popular after Sir Arthur Conan Doyle really brought it to the mainstream, and the Victorians loved everything a bit strange, didn't they? But that's what that image was. Traditionally, the Fae are a little bit more, they have a little bit of a darker history, and they go by the good people, the Fae, F-A-E, fairies, F-A-E-R-Y, not to be mistaken with fairies, F-A-I-R-Y, which is usually talking about like Disney fairies and stuff like that, and they're usually life-size, okay, and they usually have a very a darker history. People don't want to mess with them, but for the purposes of this video, 444, fairies, I'm talking about these little elemental beings, okay, that are connected to nature, and these are what were supposed to be in the photos. All right, these do include little people, I should add, which is where the areas can get grey, like gnomes and this and this and this. And I was looking and looking, and I'm like, I don't see shit. I don't see crap. What are you talking about? I can't see anything. And I was trying. Anyway, I gave up. Now, somehow, a year to the almost month, I came back to that website, and all of a sudden, I could see. I was like, ain't no way. I was going through it all. I could see what I couldn't see. Suddenly, I see. Did it? Literally. So this is why I do have understanding for people that sometimes say that they can't see what's in there, and I do have some patience. I say some because it gets stretched, for people that want to just call it pareidolia all the time, because it's not fucking pareidolia all the time. I really don't understand those people that are always about pareidolia, and I'm like, but you do even know what it would look like even if it slapped you in the face? No. So if I'm telling you and I'm saying that I'm seeing this, now you don't have to believe it, but don't like scoff at it. Just be like, well, I don't. Now that's one thing that I have to say. A lot of things that people think are pareidolia are not pareidolia. It's how these entities and these beings actually show up in the third dimensional realm. It can look distorted. It can look strange, all right? They don't follow the same laws as the third dimensional realm. So you could have like 10 beings in the space where where you should essentially see one person, and they're all layered on top of each other, and everything is looking lopsided this way. There's a face there, there's a face there. It's very much like, it very much is like, it gives dimensional, right? The way that when you think about dimensional realms and the way that there's warp, things can be warped and it's a bit weird. It can be an optical illusion sometimes when you're looking at these things, because you're like, oh, there's a face, oh, I'm looking, oh wait, my eyes are going funny, let me pull my eyes back out again. You catch the drift. Anyway, so I knew I had that, and I started to scan photographs, and I started to realize that, oh my god, I can see them in where there's photos. If there's something in there, I can see them. And I started to do that, and then I started to take my own photographs in my own environment, like going out to the park and whatnot, and I started to scan those photographs, and I would annotate them, I would document them, and I'll put them on a USB stick. So it's safe to say, up to this day, I've got thousands. This is what I'm going to start showing. I'm going to start showing these images because they're just knocking about, and I always wanted people to be able to see them, and I would sometimes show them in forums and people would make fun of you, or people would just laugh or whatever, and then I'm like, I don't want to share them anymore, right? You know, you really bump into people who pertain to be all about this, and then the minute you show things, they get funny with you. So I just stopped. But it's so funny because the video that, if you will look at watching Barry's live today, was about charters of time. I'm not even going to go into that, and about how they might come and they'll give you a download of information for your next mission. And it's quite funny because after watching that video, I instantly just was like, do this. Why don't you just do this? Like, simple. It just gave me that push. So here we are. So I'm just going to dive in and just show a couple of things here, and if you like these types of videos, then just please let me know, and I'll keep doing more. Right now I'm going to hope my because I'm doing this on a phone, so I'm not on a PC, so I won't be able to have, I hope I can sync this well. All right, so the first image that let's show this is a low-key one. Now, I saw this one when I was looking at a website. All right, I mean, I was on a Facebook group, a cryptozoology group, and in fact, what was being shown was a dog man. But what I could see in other aspects, and these pictures were taken in Australia, I should add. I need to remember the name of the group because I can't remember now. But I was scanning and I saw this image. Now, I think this would be a nice image because when I was watching on Barry's show today, he was showing the images that I was able to see a Sasquatch, Bigfoot, however you want to call it, that was behind his yurt in Assetti Ranch. I could see it there. All right, I could see how tall it was, I could see where it was, and it validated his experience. So I thought this would be a nice one to start with. So again, this is let me show you here. This is the image. I'm trying to remember, I have to know which one I'm showing you now. Let me put it onto the screen so that I can remember. So that was the initial image. And so as I'm looking, and I'm going to probably put it onto the screen side right here, I could see what looked like a Sasquatch, and it's young. So what I usually do is I usually see what I see, I draw around it quite crudely, and I go online and I also look for images of things that look similar, and I post them if I can next to them. So there we have what looks like a Sasquatch, and it's young. And it's very clear, like you can see the side profile, particularly of the it looks like a female to me, but I can't be sure, but it does look like a female to me, and the young. And it's, what's interesting is it's clearly cloaking. It's cloaking, because I've seen images of Sasquatches where they're just like straight up in your face, that you can see them in the trees. This very much is cloaking, and by cloaking I mean like what happens in the Predator movies, because of the way that it blends in. You can tell it's cloaking. But how cool is that? Oh, I forgot to add this in. Here is another Sasquatch image. It's not the clearest, but hopefully you can see. Now this is clearly like cloaking again. I think this actually was one of Barry's videos. If you see this, Barry, like I think you were talking and you had an image behind you or something, and this is what I could see in the foliage, in the trees, and it very much looks side on like a Sasquatch. I can see like a simian looking face, you know, like a sort of a monkey looking face. It was giving bruise of like really looking, you know, like at the side. I don't know whether people can see the line of the mouth and the sort of the broad nose and the way it's looking. It was definitely cloaking, and it was more phased out than phased in, but I could see it. So I'm going to add it here, and I've got a couple of different playing with the saturation and stuff like that and drawn around it. So that's what I think it is, but let me know what you think. Okay, image number 2 is going to be this one. Now this one is interesting to me because again, this was on the same group. It's the same guy that goes out there and he takes photos, but he's not taking photos of what it is that I'm seeing. Now this one's interesting because there's clearly a man there. I don't think that's a corporal, but it doesn't look like a Sasquatch, guys. If you know what it could be, let me know. It has really humanoid features, like it's as in like a man, like the skin looks white, it looks pale. The nose looks quite small and round, and you can very clearly see the eye and the iris. I mean, I'm half tempted to say, was there a man that was just like hiding in the forest? But it doesn't, the way that you would see the image, it doesn't seem to be. It's very strange. But there's definitely a being there. But of what it is, I don't know, or who it is, I don't know. But it looks like it's definitely a male, and they clocked that camera. Very petite features. The nose is very petite. I would be curious as to who that is. What do you think? Write down below. Okay, now on this third image, I'm just jumping. This is just a taster, really. Like, I just literally opened the first photo on my phone and I'm like, what have we got here? Now, this image I absolutely love because I saw this in an image, and to me, I can see it very clearly. All right, and I wrote, this is a little being under a mushroom. Now this mushroom must be about this tall. That tall is how these mushrooms were in the images, because the image was I zoomed in quite a lot, okay? And as you can see, I wrote here, peeking out from under the mushrooms, do you see him? Although it could be a her. Now this is very light. To me, it's so clear. I hope that you guys can see it. This is a little being. It has the straightest nose that I've ever seen. Can you see it? Look at the image. Can you clearly see the features? It's got an incredibly sort of almost like defined little like triangle nose. You see that? Very clear dark hair, very clear, somewhat large dark eyes, and a little mouth. This is underneath that little mushroom. Little people exist, okay? They exist. Now, whether this is in this reality or realm, or whether he's sort of phasing in, I don't know. But how cool is that? Look, it's so clear. I love sharing these. See, I get excited now. Let me know what you think below. It almost has like a Harlequin doll appearance, is the way that I experienced this. It's got very much like that Harlequin doll look. Like, I imagine that if this was life size and it was standing in our face, I would feel like uncanny valley vibes. Like, it would be a little bit off-putting, like the expression, very Harlequin doll like. Do you guys sense that? The next image I'm going to put up is one that I took in my local graveyard. It was literally, I was walking back from the supermarket one day, past a church with a little graveyard in the front, And I thought, let me take a picture. And I did have another image that had like, there was this mist that appeared above a tombstone that was there in one click, and the next click was gone. So I literally went there, the next one gone. But this was by a tree. So I'm like, you can very clearly see like a white lady, like a female. And I'm not sure whether this is spirit, because it could be spirit because it's connected to the graveyard, or whether this is sort of almost an elemental, a female, like almost a dryad energy, right, from the tree, because it was literally coming out from a tree. It's annoying that I don't have the zoomed out picture where I'm looking now, but it was giving that, all right. So what guy do you think? And this one, I think this one's cute as well. You can see I took this in the park, in the bushes, and you can clearly see, this to me looks like a stereotypical little gnome man. Now I showed this to my mum and she was like, I said, do you see the beard? She could see it clearly. Can you see it? You can see the little eyes here, and it's got a little nose, dark hair. It looks like it's wearing a white shirt, and its mouth is open like. To me, I see a beard, but also it might not have a beard, but it definitely is sort of just sitting in there. Little people, guys, little gnomes, little beings, little men. Okay, here we have what seems to be honest, it's a little bit freaky, I'm not going to say, an eye. I'm like, who does this eye belong to? Who does the eye belong to? I just did some side-by-sides of things that the eye could look similar to, so you can have an idea of, you know, what it would look like. So what do you think? I'm looking down at my phone here. What else have we got here? Oh yeah, this is what I would call a hobgoblin. I mean, there are literally, I've seen things that are actively exactly like what you would see in the books. Like they're it's literally like for like. Need to find more. Goblins. In fact, I remembered not knowing what a duende was, and then I remember seeing an image of one in something I saw. I didn't know what it was, but I could just see what it looked like. And then I came across a story. I came across like a group where they were talking about, oh, like this is what a duende is, and I saw a drawing, and my jaw hit the floor because it was exact to what I had seen in that picture. Exact. The way that it's got those long ears that come out like that. Yeah, the short, everything with the note, everything. And I thought that was quite good because I didn't know what that was before. So it's not like I had imagined or projected that image wanting to see it. I had no idea what that was. I'd never seen one before. I'd never heard of the duende. But I can tell you for a fact that it exists looking just like that. I'm going to see if I can find images. But here we have what I likened to a hobgoblin. You can see, look at its eyes in the stack. Oh my god, the thing looks frightened. Okay. It's like, you see me? I'm like, B, I see you. Okay, I see you. I noticed when you take pictures, even if you don't see them, they always know there's a camera on them, especially if it's like almost, I wonder if that they know that you're looking for that. Makes you think about how connected we are telepathically. So there's that. Oh my god, and the final one I'll do for today was this image here. This was probably one of the first images that I found, and I hope that you guys can see it because I can. Bro, it looks like a hobgoblin. This looks like I can see it so clearly. A little goblin face, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth. I can see it so clearly, can you? So anyway, this is just a quick video of this today, just to sort of do something a little bit different. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you can see it. Let me know your own stories and come back for another video. Bye.